When starting a business, you're going to come across mistakes that you've made, and you're going to have to learn from those mistakes. And today, I'm going to share with you some of the mistakes that I made when I first started my pressure washing business, so that way you guys can learn from those and don't necessarily have to make the same mistakes. But first, if you're brand new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to my channel so that way you're notified every time that I upload a brand new video. Now, this is one of our jobs from our Facebook advertisements we did here in South Tampa, Florida. If you're in Florida, let me know down below, or also if you're around the country, let me know where you're located. Now, first off, the customer contacted us for this job. We reached out, we gave them a quote through Messenger, and then from there we went out and did the job. And for the driveway, something like this, we normally charge about $200 to $250, and it takes about 30 minutes to an hour. Now, if you want to start growing your pressure washing business and you want to have me handle all of your Facebook advertisements and set those up, send me a message at 843-888-2371 or hit that first link in the description to book a free strategy call with me where I'll explain all of my services. Also have a free Facebook group, so encourage everybody to go check that out. And also, if you're just starting your pressure washing business, you can hit up my Amazon links. This is going to have everything for you guys to get started and exactly all the equipment that we use. Now, I wish when I first started, I had the power of using, different tools online like Facebook and YouTube to get the knowledge that I know today. But unfortunately, like most people, I started out with no knowledge and I made a lot of mistakes. One of the first mistakes that I made was I had to do an entire driveway for my first customer all by hand. And I had an electric pressure washer when I first started. So that was something that I do not recommend ever. Always look into getting at least a 2.5 gallon per minute or higher when you're starting your pressure washing business. That job took me, I think, 2 days to do, and I only made like $100 10 years ago. So it definitely wasn't worth it to me. I didn't even know what a surface cleaner was. From there, I did upgrade to a surface cleaner, but unfortunately, the one that I had, I think it's discontinued now, but it was a Simpson surface cleaner. And at the bottom, it had like literally a physical brush, and that kept falling off. So I had to literally duct tape my brush onto my surface cleaner, and that was just a huge mess. My customer was looking at me crazy, like I was very unprofessional. And I'll explain to you a few more things that I did that I do not recommend, but I just wanted to share with you guys that experience that unfortunately happened to me. Since then, I have learned. I've upgraded to a BE Roll-Away, which you guys see in the video. This is a proper surface cleaner built by a proper pressure washing company that all they do is build pressure washing equipment. So if you're looking to get the best equipment, definitely check out Amazon or check out your local pressure washing store online. Another mistake that I made was I started my business off in Houston, Texas. And if you're in Texas or surrounding areas, you know that all the fences are made out of wood. When I first started, I was doing everything by hand with basically just a green tip, and I would leave that job soaked in water, all the fibers from the wood. It was literally a nightmare, and it would take me a week just to clean all of the fibers out of my ears and just my hat. So if you've ever cleaned a wooden fence, let me know down below what your experience was. In Houston, we would re-clean and then paint the actual fence. So this was a service that, in Houston specifically, you have to repaint the fences. But, if you're pressure washing a fence or anything of wood, that's a great upsell for you to go ahead and stain or upsell them on a refinish for their actual wood. Another mistake that I made was I did not know what a J-Rod is. If you guys don't know what a J-Rod is, definitely check that out down in the description at pressurecleanstore.com. They've got a great selection of all pressure washing tools, but a J-Rod essentially allows you to clean a house from the grass without having to have anything, holding a big wand. Unfortunately, when I first started, I was one of the suckers that ordered one of those big yellow telescopic wands on Amazon, and I broke my back 20 times trying to clean customers' house, because once you get it up there 20 feet in the air, that thing starts wobbling everywhere and it's very hard to control. You can easily fix this by just simply getting a J-Rod. It's got a great orifice on there that allows you to shoot your chemicals without having to get on a ladder or use one of those telescoping wands. And one of my customers, I remember one time, came out and was like, "Why are you using high pressure on my, vinyl siding home?" I didn't know better at the time. If you guys, know in Texas they have, or if you've seen in your area, half of the house is brick and half of the house up top is vinyl. So I had to use the, telescopic one to get up there and clean the house, and it was just a huge nightmare. So if you're thinking about getting one of those, or if you're, have one, highly recommend you return that and look into getting a J-Rod. Typically runs about $50 to about $60. Another mistake that I see new pressure washers make is they simply do not know what kind of chemicals to use. So this video is going to save you a ton of time and also the headache from asking a customer for a refund because they did not get satisfied with the job that you have done. When you're using a surface cleaner, or maybe you're using a pressure washing gun, you definitely want to make sure that you're using chemicals. There are several available options there for you. So this could look like buying something from Walmart, which is like your 10% Pool Shock, which is a little bit more expensive, but sits on the shelf for a long time and is not as potent. Also Home Depot, Lowe's, they do carry that. If you go to the garden section in the back, you can find a 3-pack. I believe maybe now it's a 2-pack, which has 2 gallons of the soap. But what I'd use now is we go to our local pool store, or even here in Tampa, we have a local pressure washing store. We just pull up our rig, they fill it up, pay about $1.50 per gallon of bleach, and then we're on our way to our first job. So every time we fill up in the mornings before we start our day, this has enough chemicals to last us throughout the day. But if you're just starting out, you're going to have to buy, a lot of gallons of chemicals, and you don't really want to carry that around in your truck or inside your car because essentially that could leak or spill, and it just wouldn't be good for you. So I recommend, getting a tank. If you don't have a tank, just make sure that the gallons are actually sealed at the top. So that way you're not spilling anything, or maybe you can, buy a container from Home Depot and just put in your containers of bleach there. So that way it's not spilling all over the place, and then put a container over the top. But essentially you do not want to surface clean or pressure wash a driveway without chemicals, because you're going to leave a ton of lines. And this is a very bad look. You do not want to tiger stripe a customer's house on the actual concrete, because I've been there, I've done that. Trust me, they're not happy. So I hope this video saved you guys from making mistakes in the future. Take care.